All right, all right. Excited to be here tonight. Just want to test our systems and make sure we are live. We are live on Facebook. We are live here in Zoom. I just want to make sure you guys give a thumbs up. Go ahead and check and make sure that we are live and broadcasting. Think we're broadcasting. Okay. All right. Well, welcome everyone. My name is Anana Pfeiffer, and I just want to say good evening and welcome. I'm so glad you're here with us tonight. This is a real important conversation. Hopefully, you see our topic is women protecting women, coverage, confidence, and career. All right. If you're watching, I want you to put that in there. We're talking about coverage, confidence, and career. And as we close out Women's History Month, we've spent some time celebrating women, our strengths, our resilience, and our impact. And so it's been an incredible month so far. But tonight, we're just going to shift the conversation a bit. Y'all ready? Everybody say shift. Shift. Put that in the comment. We're going to shift, okay? We're going to shift the conversation tonight because, of course, celebration is powerful. But guess what? Protection and preparation, that's what's going to sustain us. That's what makes sure we have a legacy as we move forward in our journey. So here's the thing: women are often the ones holding everything together. I don't know about you. You feel like you're holding everything together. We hold our families together, our finances, our communities, even in the workforce. Like we are the ones that keep it all together. But here's the thing: yet many women are underinsured, are unsure of what coverage they have, what they need, and what the future looks like if anything goes wrong. So tonight is about education, it's about awareness, and it's also about opportunity. So, not just how we protect our families, but how we as women can also step into spaces that allow us to build income, flexibility, and legacy. So, I'm honored to be joined with three incredible women who are just happen to be licensed insurance agents. How about that? They are leaders, they are business partners, and each of them have their own journey and their own perspective in this industry. So this is going to be a real conversation. What's this conversation going to be about, y'all? What's going to be about? We said we talking about what? Conversation about confidence, right? We already know this is what we're going to be talking about tonight: coverage, confidence, and careers. So again, these women are someone that I have a great amount of respect for. I have worked with them throughout the years, right? We got some history together, but God does all things well, and He positions you in a time, in a space, in a season, and somehow He saw fit to bring us back together in this space of life insurance. So I encourage you all to listen, reflect, and feel free to ask yourself, where do I stand in all of this? So please say hello as you're coming in. Let us know where you're watching from, and let's get into it. Let's get into it. I want to ask my young ladies, that's right, to personally just introduce themselves. I think I'm going to go from the newest agent first, and that is none other than Miss Mary. How are you, Miss Mary Garrison? You want to say hello, introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Mary Garrison, and I am licensed in North Carolina. I'm doing life insurance right now. I will be adding additional lines of protection, but for right now, it's just life. My next addition will be health.
Awesome. All right, all right. We're gonna move on down. So we started in Jersey, we on the Northeast, right? Then we went to North Carolina, and then I'm gonna pass the baton to Miss Ingrid Alexander. Hello, hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm
Glad to
well,
be
thank
here.
you.
My name is Ingrid Alexander from Southern California, Los Angeles area, and I'm excited about being here with you ladies.
Awesome. That was real quick. Uh-huh. Tell us a little bit more. We have the newest agent. Mary, you've been licensed and you've been in the industry for how long?
I got started in February.
February. 1 month, and here she is. Okay. So Ingrid, you want to let the folks know how long you've been in this industry?
Well, I've been in the business for 6 years, actually. I came in right before the pandemic, and that was an interesting situation because everything went wild. And I built most of my business for the first couple of years, under like a pandemic type of situation. So I saw people after that, but it was so great to be around because things were changing and people really needed to have coverage to start understanding why it was important. So I came at a good time. And therefore, this is the craziness right now. So it's a time for us to really get serious about it, even if we didn't get serious then. But we definitely need to get serious about it right now. So I'm excited about, especially women. We're focusing on women and the courage to be able to do the things that we need to do, whether we have a spouse or not. We have children, we have ourselves, we have a lot to do, and there's a lot of work to be done. So it's a
Indeed.
good place for us.
Yes, 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 indeed. I'm gonna back to Mary because that's the only thing I guess that was one that I wanted you to put in your intro is what actually led you into this space.
Yeah, so my mom passed in 2009, and she did have some life insurance. She had some things in place, but quite honestly, it was not enough. So from that moment I started thinking, well, what could we have done, or what could have been done? I also worked with estate planning. I was a paralegal for a few years, and that was part of my role, was to take the estate inventory. And one thing I noticed, a lot of the clients, they had these hefty life insurance policies, maybe 250,000, 300,000 or more, and they were going to the estates, and they had trusts set up. So that really put it on the radar for me. Like, people are really out here, adding to their family's wealth by doing something so simple as having a strong policy.
Gotcha. Well, thank you so much. We're excited to have you here. All right, Miss Lady Melinda. Now, Miss Lady Melinda is not just an insurance agent, broker, but she is an agency owner. And so I want you to introduce yourself. As I'm putting on my jacket, I forgot. I was so excited to be here. Please introduce yourself. And of course, what led you into this space.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Thanks so much, Amana, for having us here. This is such a blessing, and I'm really excited to share. Again, my name is Lady Melinda Crutchfield. I'm an insurance agency owner here in Stone Mountain, Georgia, and I'm also a wealth strategist and proud leader of an incredible team called the Crutchfield Crusaders. They're amazing, I'll tell you. And what led me into this space, honestly, wasn't just about business. It was about purpose. I've always had a heart for helping people, but I didn't fully understand the power of what we do here with this insurance until I saw how one policy could help completely change my life, and the families here, their future. The one policy that changed my life was a living benefit policy for critical illness when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. That policy literally changed our lives because it rescued us during the most crucial time in my life. And so I realized that this isn't just insurance. This is protection, and this is legacy, and this is love in action. I really believe that. Now I get to help families make sure that if something unexpected happens, that their family, their children are still okay. Their home is still secure. Their future doesn't fall apart. And on the other side of that, I get to help women build income, confidence, and ownership
Right.
because we deserve options too, right?
Come on, there go that word confidence. Here we go. We talk about conversation, confidence. All right, indeed, indeed. Thank you for the
Mhm.
introduction. So hopefully you all have a little more insight of the women that are here tonight. Now, what I want to go into is what made you realize that life insurance was something women needed to really understand. Who wants to take that first? Who wants to go jump in?
I can go, young girl. Go ahead, Ingrid.
Okay. Why I feel that it's something women need to take on because we need to understand things, because when we understand things, we keep them. Things you don't understand will be the first things to go. So we know with life insurance, people get it and they lapse, something else becomes important because they don't really understand it, or they say I can't afford it, but we do whatever we want to do, so we can afford exactly what we want to afford, right?
Right.
So with understanding it will help us to have the right coverage, not just not have anything, but have the right stuff, as well as make sure all our family has the right stuff. Like be the spokesperson. You might be that one person that you're the life insurance guru of your family. So you're going to make sure everybody has something. Do you have this? Are you good? Not, don't tell me you're good and you just want to say you're good. Are you good? If you're not good, what do you have? So we need to be that person that goes around to make sure that everybody's covered. If you're not covered, I can help you with that. So that, when something happens, everybody's just not looking crazy. Like, oh, I thought they had this. I thought they had that. Oh, I thought they were good. So women are the ones, we control the homes. We have homes that we're running, whether men are there or not. I mean, we have kids. We're running everything. So it's important for us to understand it so that we can be that person to save our family from situations like Melinda. I mean, we know that people are going to get sick probably before they die most times. So we need to be ready. It's a living benefit situation. That whole space is great.
It is. It really is.
Very good. Go ahead, Melinda. Lady Melinda,
Yes,
go
I mean,
ahead.
I've had so many conversations with women, especially women, because as you were saying earlier, so many women are the glue of the household, but they're often, the least protected and the least informed. I see so many GoFundMe pages, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And all their plans are not finished. They're confused, during the most emotional time of their life, and it hit me hard to see that we really need to get this word out.
Yeah.
And we don't, our people just don't have enough knowledge. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
They don't have enough awareness.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
gap and we
Yeah.
need
Big
to
time.
help fill it, and women really need to understand this, and not just for their families, but for themselves. Because we're not just caregivers, we're income earners, we're decision makers, we're legacy builders, right?
Indeed, I love it. Legacy builders.
Yeah,
That's what we are.
that's right.
Indeed, indeed. And
Hmm.
sometimes, I mean, you got to help that shift, right? Because some women might not really see themselves as such. And I think that's
Exactly.
how empowering really getting a policy, understanding the policy, right? Knowing how powerful it is, the tools, right? Everything that comes with it is just so important. So I just echo everything that you said.
Absolutely.
Mary, you want to add anything to that? The question was realizing, about insurance. What is something you think women need to understand when it comes to coverage and in policies?
Yeah, so I think that we as women need to understand that, protection is not optional, it's necessary, especially
Good.
for those of us, they have children that leave behind, what their future is gonna look like. And so it's critical to make sure that they have more than enough. You don't want them to have just enough and then they're scraping to move money here. You want to leave abundance and wealth for your family. You don't
All
want to
right.
leave, a bunch of bills and hardship on top of hardship. So it's necessary. I'm working with a girlfriend of mine, and she understands, and she said, look, whatever I can afford, I'm gonna get the most that I can afford. And that's really what it is. It's a lot of misconception that you got to have all this money for insurance. And that's not true. There are actually affordable policies out there. You don't have to get the most expensive thing. You can get something that's fits your budget. And that's what everybody, they need to get the most that can fit their actual budget.
Hmm.
That's good. Did she drop some jewels? A new agent talking. She said protection is not optional, it is
No.
necessary. Okay. Drop that in the chat. Shoot tonight, okay? Y'all got that
Necessary.
right? That's that new agent talking, okay?
Right.
Protection is not optional, it is necessary. So true. And so when we think about families, because you guys really put that in a bit, because sometimes people are like, oh, whatever, they'll figure it out. And I like how you said just enough ain't enough. Like we need to see that this is something when you really want to leave legacy. They say, how do you know? How do your great grandchildren know who you are? You know why? Because you
Yeah.
left them something.
Good.
Money.
Something's right about it.
Great grandma left
Money.
me $10,000. Great grandma left me. You know why we don't know who great grandma is? Because they
Left
didn't
us
leave
nothing.
us nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. And I think
Oh,
we know that we all of us here are so passionate, right, about changing that narrative for our community and for our people. And that's certainly what it's about. All right. Moving on. Y'all ready? What do you feel families missing? What they're missing the most when it comes to protection? And you might have touched on that a little bit, but anything you want to add to that when you're thinking about like families and protection, what do you think is really missing right now? 2026.
well, I think what most families I think that they have enough coverage, but they're underprotected.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they may have something through their job, but it's not enough.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, any protections, I'm glad that they have protection on the job. That's very important. But it's just like a company car. You got to return it when you leave, okay? You got to give it back, right? So it's
Right.
important that they have their own coverage.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, because it doesn't go with them.
Yeah.
And they haven't really sat down and asked the questions, you know, asked the family or truly even, you know, identified what's needed.
Yeah.
And you know, one of the things I always say is life insurance is like your last love letter to your family.
Yeah. That's good.
Okay, and we're going to help you write it if you let us, right?
That's it. Indeed. I
Right.
love it. I love it. To
Mhm.
your family. Ingrid, Mary, you want to add anything to that? We can move on to your family.
Definitely. What I see missing is if they have insurance. Let's start there. The job thing, they have something on the job, but you know, as life agents, we don't even consider that
Mhm.
coverage. I mean, we don't even think that you have. If you tell me you have insurance on a job, I say okay, so let's look at some insurance because it means nothing, especially in this time where 350,000 African American women
Come
lost
on.
their job,
That's it.
behind the administration. Okay, 350,000. So no insurance, no health, no life, no nothing. It's a
Mhm.
lot of people, a lot of kids, a lot of families, a lot of mortgages not paid, a lot of rents not being paid, a lot of car notes, maybe being repossessed. That's a lot. And
Yeah.
so we need to realize that, right? So the life insurance is an investment tool. It's something that helps us get over. We can bridge if we got the right one. The second thing is children. When I was young, my mother, I didn't have a Gerber policy. It wasn't that important to people at that. I mean, my parents, I should say, and maybe other parents, because kids didn't die like they do now. You know, you might get hit by a car, or have some type of disease that was very rare. I mean, that was when you knew past. Well, I'm telling my age probably, but but now, like I tell parents, if you have kids, we gotta talk about them too, because they can get taken out in a math class. Okay, you could send them off to school this morning, and you get a call from school, or you see someone on the news, and you running down there like, what happened? So they need to be covered as well. And it's very heartbreaking to lose a child, but if you have to do that, money will help. And it will help you and the family and go through that whole process. I mean, you want to have that. And I want to say the third thing is that everybody in the household needs to be covered, not just the breadwinner. The mother that stays home, because guess what? You're covering the breadwinner, but if the mother dies, who's taking care of the kids? Where's that money going to come from? Where's that expense going to come? You got to get a nanny or somebody to take it. Who's going to do that? And family members will only help for a minute, okay? Really a minute, probably half a second. When it comes down to you needing, they might treat you bad because they're doing you a favor. This is family. Where do you have to go if they can't live in the same place? You got to live with family. Nobody wants to do that. So there's a lot of reasons why they need protection to protect all the things after passing to live the next day.
Indeed. Very, very good. Very, very good. Mary, you want to add anything? To
Mhm.
families missing anything? Okay. All
Well,
right.
no,
I
I
think
mean, they operate in hope, but hope is not a strategy, right?
Yeah.
Protection is.
say it,
So,
say it, say it. No, totally agree with that. And just knowing what you have or don't have. I don't know how many people, I got something. Never
I'm
even
good.
saw the
Ain't
policy,
got nothing.
don't know. And it's not in a critical space, guys, but this is just reality. If you believe that you are covered, obviously you can connect with either of us, right? But when is the last time you looked at that policy? When is it like, what do you really even know the coverage? When does it expire? Is it whole? Is
Where
it term?
is
There's
it?
so many
Where is
questions.
it?
Yeah.
Where
Where is it even? So
Does
access
your
it.
family know it exists? That's
Yeah. Yeah.
another issue.
who knows and who knows and are they
Who
still here?
knows?
Yeah. So those are all the things that we see and we hear, in this space, when we think about women in that regard. All right. So this was good. Anything else you want to add to that? I think we touched on, like mortgage protection. Like a lot of people don't even really understand what that is. Just having coverage, for final expense, but the ability to have something that would, God forbid something happens, like you said, to the breadwinner or just an income in the home, that they can actually stay in that home, right, and be able to pay off the home or get time to stay in a home even during a critical state. So
Mhm.
that's something too. I don't know. Anybody want to touch
Well,
on that?
a
Go
lot of
ahead.
people think, well, insurability is a gift. Everyone's going to be
Good.
uninsurable at some point. We
Hmm.
just don't know when,
Yeah.
so it's so important that you look into it, at least get an understanding,
Yeah.
educate yourself. So it brings clarity to what you need. We'll show you if you have any gaps or holes in your plan and then help you fill those holes. You
Yeah.
don't want
So
you don't
true.
want to wait till a tragedy happens and try to think about it then. Think
Yeah.
about it in advance. Allow us to walk you through the process
Yeah.
and give you that confidence and that peace of mind that this really does bring. And it's more affordable than people think. I think they prejudge and believe that it's out of their reach, but it really isn't. We can customize plans, and they call me the budget queen, so I can work it out for you.
That's
So
right. It will make it work for sure. I
make it
love that.
work. Hmm.
I like the insurability piece, right? Because people think like we got to first figure out if you can get approved, what you get approved for. Like, are you insurable? And a lot of times, sad to say, is sometimes when things have happened. Okay, now you have diabetes, you had a stroke, right? And so we can't even really find affordable coverage for you. So the sooner the better. Time really, the earlier the better, in that regard. So I think that was a great point. So this is good. This is good. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? I
Feeling
love it. I love
good.
our women out there. This was just a way for again us to talk women to women, right, about protection, what coverage is, right, and hoping that again, knowing, building the confidence. Right. So having this conversation with a broker, with the agent, reviewing your policy is only going to build your confidence. Confidence in knowing what you have, what you need, what you can afford, and what your options are. And I don't know about you, but I need some peace of mind. We need
Mhm.
something that will give us some. We got a lot to be concerned about. But the one thing, if I know that I got coverage, if I know that, even the critical illness, right, the terminal illness, knowing that that gives me a peace of mind. That's just a weight that I don't have to carry right now, with all the weight that's in America, and especially for women, and dare I say, Black women. So this is really something that can help lift that a little bit. I don't know. Y'all might agree with saying
Yes.
like we're trying to really help to lift some burdens here by having these conversations.
It's
Yeah,
not
and
just
I
it's
think
not
it's
just
really
a death benefit, it's a living benefit. And my breast cancer treatment was $1 million. So, just that money that was dropped in my account to help sustain the family during that season was so significant. And so I believe everyone should have a critical illness policy in place because you don't know what tomorrow holds, right?
Indeed.
I think that what's really important is that one policy, if you have it, cannot do it all.
Mhm.
Okay, it cannot do it all. Like a lot of people have the old insurance where you got to die and somebody you got to hope that people do what they're supposed to do. But there's so many other things like living benefits, critical illness, cancer packages, mortgage protection. You have a home. What happens if your breadwinner dies? Do you have
Mhm.
enough money to keep that going? You know,
Yes.
if you're just one income, who's going to pay that mortgage? You got to have different things. So mortgage protection helps. You can do it with various types of policies so that you don't have to worry about that. You won't have to go from a 4-bedroom house to a 1-bedroom apartment. I mean, that's devastating, especially to a kid that's used to
Yes.
growing up in a backyard. I mean, I grew up in a backyard. It would be devastating for me to go to an apartment and catch a bus. I mean, that's not something that I want to do, and I wouldn't want anybody else to have to do that. And so there's just so many things that we can offer you, so that you can learn and work that budget, like the budget queen over there said. We'll tell you all your little holes, and we'll work it out. You know,
Absolutely, absolutely.
they
No,
have to
that's
they're not
good.
in denial about it. We have to open it up and talk about it. And we just don't talk about it as African American people. We don't talk about it, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what
Big
got to get
time.
talked.
Big time. I want to bring Mary in because there's one thing we haven't really touched on. That's like some of the advanced markets, and I know that that's one of her loves. One something immediately is IULs. I think definitely Mary and Ingrid. Those are the most folks that I go to when we talk about IULs and that type of protection. I know you just did a live, and you really share on educating our community about that. Do you want to just share a little bit about that type of protection as well? Your experience with it?
Yeah, so for me, before I got into the business, I already purchased the IUL previously. And the main benefit for me is that the production of the IUL is in alignment with the index funds. So it's basically a way to indirectly invest in the stock market. And we all know that's how money is made, whether it be the bank, whether it be personal investment. So just having the opportunity to not only protect myself, protect my children rather, but also an opportunity to mirror, the investments. So as long as the economy is doing well, my IUL is doing it's gonna be ups and downs.
Yeah, yeah.
But at the end of the day, they're gonna do the work to try to put us all in the best possible position. So I look at that as a great way just to kind of, invest in the stock market indirectly. So that was the excitement for me. Also, you can leverage your cash value as you can with whole life policies as well. If you have that money in the IUL that's built up, say I'm getting ready to buy a house, I want to go on a vacation, I need a couple $100 or I need $1,000, I can pull that money out of my own account instead of taking out a loan, paying interest, maxing out a credit card. I have
Mhm.
my own bank. So the
Yeah.
more you put in that IUL, the more money you have in your personal bank, whether it be for something, positive like buying a home, going on a cruise, or something negative like losing a job or having bills to pay. So, I like the concept of investing in myself with the IUL.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I wanted to make sure because I
Love
know,
it.
yeah, that's something again, options, right? That we don't know, right? That provide that confidence that we need as women. Like this is a tool that really you have access to, and it's definitely a way of protecting, but also investing. And I certainly love that. Ingrid, you want to just add anything to that before we move on to our final
Absolutely.
point?
Absolutely. The IUL is a great option. I mean, it's been around for a long time. I thought it was something new when I got into the business, but it's been around for a long time. It's just that when people came to our people of color, they didn't open that box. I mean, they kept that box closed. They gave us some whole lot of some over here that just didn't do anything. Very little cash
Okay.
value, investment, no information. Living benefits been around for a very long time too, but most people don't know about that either. So the IUL brings you those two options together. And like I said, it's in the index market that mirrors the stock market. And when it goes up, it goes up. But guess what? When the market goes down, we don't. Okay, we floor. We do not lose money.
All
So
right.
that's a very good thing to do. We can. Most people can get insured at 15 days old. See other cultures, they get those kids, in their life insurance policies as soon as they have a Social Security number. Okay, so that kid has 15, 16 years of growing that money until they can get a car. When they get into college, they can get married. All that money is growing all those years, like 20 years. Just imagine how much money your kid would have if you had 20 years. And it's very
Hmm.
inexpensive because they're very young and they're healthy. They haven't picked up bad habits yet.
Mhm.
And so that's something important to think about. I was doing a little campaign. I need to really, focus on it this year. About a grandmother could take $100 and she could insure a $50,000 IUL with living benefits on 5 grandchildren for like $20.
Mm.
And that's a great thing that you could do. They can compete. Like whenever they get money, they can take their little money and put it in their little IUL. They get the little Christmas
Love
money,
it.
graduation money. It's just a grandma campaign. So I think we
Come
need to
on, the
really
grandma
focus on that.
campaign. Let's
You
get
know,
started.
grandma
Yeah.
campaign. They paying for cheerleading. Cheerleading is expensive. Football, that stuff is expensive.
Yes.
Let's get that to our kids. Our
Come on.
grandbabies.
That's
That's
good.
important. And show them how to put their money in their money early. They'll be
Come on.
4 years old trying to figure out some money. You know,
Oh,
Yes,
that's
we're
good.
all
That's
grandmoms
good.
now,
Hey, that's you
we're
dropped it.
grandmoms.
Right. It's the truth. Oh my goodness. This you dropped some jewels here. I hope you guys are catching this. The things that we talk about. Now, the last C, right, is when we want to talk about the career because we all are here. This is what we do. And I hope that everybody who's watching see like this is something we enjoy doing, right? I hope that you can actually
Hmm.
feel it like this is really what we enjoy to do. So I want you guys just to we'll start. I guess we'll start with Melinda. We'll move our way around. I don't know how it looks, but what made you realize that life insurance was something that here we go. When we think about that this was an industry, right? That you can be in, make money in, right? And how has this really impacted you personally, financially, if you will? And what has changed since you got licensed and really started being in this business? You can put those two together, but let's just talk about
Okay.
the career itself. What has it? What
Okay.
has it been for
Well,
you?
listen, this industry has changed me from the inside out. I'm here to tell you. And it really has given me confidence. I didn't even know I needed that confidence because I've been a business owner for many, many years. So, um, but the discipline that it gave me, I didn't know I had, and a level of purpose that wakes me up every day with excitement, but beyond that, it allows me to serve.
Yeah, that's
And
good.
that shows up in the people's lives that during some of their most important decisions. I get to have an impact there, and it also gives me the ability to dream bigger, not just for myself but for my family and the generations coming behind me. I'm telling you, this is more than a career. It's a calling.
That's
It's
good.
definitely a calling.
Good
Did you have
stuff.
another
Good
part to
stuff.
that question? I can't
Good
remember.
stuff. No, I think you really covered
I
it
covered it.
because yeah,
Okay,
you touched it
good.
all. The discipline, purpose, serve, and calling.
All right.
I love it. Got it all. I got that. Y'all put that in the comments, right? Discipline, purpose. I hope y'all getting all this thing. The love letter to your family and surely be as a gift. With they dropping some stuff here, okay? Mary, come on, talk to us. Now you really are new to this, but I know you already have such an insight personally, and now really covering your family, but being in this industry. Please share to us how this has impacted you personally and how have you changed, if so far, but any tips that you want to share. We talk about the career of being in this industry.
Yeah, so that's a great question. So how I have changed is just trying to get over fear. I
Good.
am naturally an introvert. Like I'm a chameleon. I'm like an extroverted introvert. If it's up to me, I'm an introvert, right? So I don't like talking to people, right? Unless it's people I want to talk to. But guess what? In this business, and as with most businesses, you have to get out of your shell. Now that's something I have done with real estate, but quite frankly, it's a little different. It's a little different. So one thing that I have adapted to is just letting go of the fear and just doing it. Like if I have to call a certain amount of people, I just have to call them, whether I'm fearful, whether I'm happy, whether I'm not happy. It is a numbers game. And as you were saying, the more you do it, the more confidence you build. It's like a muscle. And
Yeah.
then I think for a lot of the times after you do the thing, you're like, oh, that wasn't so bad. And it's also really given me an opportunity to think about other opportunities. With our company, with Symmetry, there is a pipeline where you can get additional credentials and go dive deeper into the finance industry, which is one of my long-term goals as well, just to really, really take a deep dive and develop a really solid understanding of how financial products work. So that's a long-term goal, but just not so much worried about what people think. And quite frankly, a lot of times the conversation I have, they go more positive than they do negative. And then, that little seed of, oh, that wasn't so bad. You carry it with you to the next interaction. And you kind of assume that, okay, well, the first few weren't so bad. So you know, the next few will go well also. And one difference I will say with real estate industry versus the life insurance industry, like when you're working with real estate, you already have identified like a conversation point, like if they were looking at homes or if they reached out to you. But with this industry, you're really starting a conversation that, if you don't start that conversation, probably nobody will have it, or it's going to be a while. So you're not only just responding, you're also having real conversations about things that people don't typically talk about, and most people don't even think about. So, what am I? February, March. So this is I can't believe it's only been a month. It feels like it's been longer. But just so much information that I've learned so far.
Yeah.
That kind of shows testament to how full this has been. The fact that it's only been about a month, and I swear it feels like it's been 3 months. In a good way, though. In a good way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're so excited for you and to have you here. And we got the veterans here too, so we got the
Yeah.
vets on the line today too.
Yeah.
So this is
And
about the
and and
career.
shout out to Lady Melinda.
Yeah.
Um, we have not met in person yet, but I just want to say that you are anointed, and the perspective that you bring, it just kind of gives you that, oh, okay, all right, it's gonna be all right. So,
Love it.
thanks for that.
Amen. Well, thank you. So glad to
See,
have you here. You are a blessing. And
yeah.
just this 1 month that you've been here, you've been a tremendous blessing.
Mhm.
So
Thank
we're
you.
glad to have your energy and your love. I tell you, it's been wonderful.
Thank
Indeed, indeed.
you.
All right, Amber, come on, talk to us about this industry. How has it impacted you personally, and
Mhm.
what has changed in you since you became licensed in this industry?
Well,
Everything. Am I going?
everything.
Are you going, Ingrid? Go ahead. Mhm.
Go ahead. You want to go?
Oh,
No, Betty, you was the first one. Well,
Okay.
and that's
I mean,
you.
so everything's changed. I mean, I never thought I would do it. My degree was in community health, health science, and life insurance was one of the options. I wanted to go and become a doctor, and started PA program. But I mean, I couldn't do that blood thing, so I kind of tilted off somewhere else, community health, where it was insurances, quality insurance, and all that, and worked several different types of opportunities. And then I started wondering about life insurance and wanting to understand it. And I'm a person that likes to understand things. Okay, I'm not gonna take your word for it because you might not know what you're talking about. Sound good. So I started, getting information about for myself. I heard about IUO, and I wanted that for me. And then as I did that, I met people that were selling that particular product, and they, oh, Ingrid, you do research, you understand things, you train well, you should try this out. And that's kind of how I got to looking at it. But I love most of all the time freedom. I'm just unemployable. I mean, I just thank God that He's going to continue to help me help people because I care. And so it comes from the heart, whether people want to, feel they need it or not. I'm going to share it. I'm going to ask good questions like, what happened if you don't come home today? What's going to happen? Instead of telling people you need insurance or do you have insurance, ask those good questions to get people thinking. Because if I say, oh, you have life insurance, oh, I'm good. I'm good. Could be I don't have none. I don't think it's important. They're gonna take care of me, whatever it is. But don't ask that question. I've learned to ask questions like, "What happens if your husband doesn't come home tonight?
mhm.
What happens if your kid gets killed in the classroom? What happens? Are you ready? Those kind of things. And just the time freedom. Like my mom, I'm a caregiver for her because the aging process is aging. I mean, life is life for me. My dad passed away. I didn't think it was expected. You never know. But I couldn't have went back to work after all that, just to have the time freedom to be able to do what I needed to do, and take care of my mom and take care of everything. I don't know how I could have did it. I know people do it all the time, but I just glad that I didn't have to do it. So the career, the time change, I mean the time freedom, and like I think Mary was saying, all the different things you can get into. We're segueing to health insurance, Medicare, all these different options that we can have for people. We can be a one-stop shop. I want to be one-stop shop where I can help your whole family, all your people being licensed in 12 different states. I can help everybody it's just a matter of me getting to you and you being persistent and wanting to share what I share with you with other people. So that's
That's
the
good.
great part about that.
I love it. I
Uh,
think we really touched on so many things about the career itself, this industry. I know Lady Melinda really talking about that discipline, purpose. Mary talked about getting over fear. about time freedom, that is it for me. I'm gonna tell you right now. I know I'm like you. Listen, 9 to 5 is a real problem for me. Somebody telling me when to be off, when to take off. Can I approval? What now? When? I mean, like,
They didn't even do that.
Same,
right.
same.
It's right.
Yeah,
So and so that's the thing. And we know many, especially women, right? Because someone could be sick. I have to do this. You have so many responsibilities, caregiving, and then that struggling, of your schedule and your life. And that
Mhm.
time freedom is a huge, huge piece of it. And it's
Mhm.
something you could do anywhere, right? You could be in
Yes.
California, you could be anywhere, different time zones. So that freedom, whoo, anybody know they want
Yeah.
some freedom? I promise you, that's what I have experienced for sure when
Mhm.
I'm
we,
not. You know what I want to say something about? You know,
yes.
Mary talked about realtors, and so
Mhm.
realtors, we're trained at a certain point where realtors are great, for this industry because when they, sell a house, they get a commission. But if they also are a life agent, they can get continuous, overrides just because I'm gonna sell you the house, but then I'm gonna help you protect the house.
Protected. Yeah.
And so and even if they don't want a life insurance, we like to partner with realtors so that, we can get referrals and, help you out by sending your people to us so we can get that mortgage protection on them and protect their family. So, it's a partnership that we can work with realtors, as life insurance agents as well, because,
Indeed.
it's a partnership. And so that's something.
Partnership. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right,
Mhm.
Lady Melinda, in closing, and we just thank everybody again for tuning in, spending time with us. And this is just the beginning. So you guys know we're going to continue, like, again, our real, if you, most of you can connect, is really working and educating and raising awareness for our community. So this is just the beginning. But in closing, what would you say to a woman who's been thinking about doing something different or creating another stream of income?
Okay. Well, like you just said, I'm psychologically unemployable as well. Girl, this time freedom has been
Good.
amazing. We get to set our own schedules. We get to do what we need to do when we need to do it, and we don't have to go and do one of those what are those little slips that you got to put in at the
PTO,
job?
PTO,
PTO. Look,
PTO.
PTO stands for prepare the others because I'm not coming, right?
Like
So
that.
so I would say this:
About that.
if it's been on your mind, and I'm just going to tell you right now, it's not by accident. It's on your mind for a reason. And too many women sit on their ideas, they sit on their dreams, they sit on their opportunities because they're waiting to feel ready. No,
Right.
the truth is, you don't need to be ready. You just need to be willing.
Okay, willing.
Okay. Willing to,
Okay.
you got to be willing to learn. You got to be willing to grow. You got to be
Yeah.
willing to step outside of what's comfortable
Yeah.
because everything you're looking for, more income, more freedom, more
Absolutely.
confidence, it's on the other side of that decision.
Yeah. That's good.
And you don't have to do it alone. There's a community here. We're here. There's mentorship. There's a
Right.
path for you here.
Yeah.
And you
Indeed.
just have to say yes to yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And so, like I said, your next level is just waiting on you. Your
Mhm.
next level is
Waiting.
waiting on your next decision. And like
Indeed.
I said, we'll be here to walk you through the process and make it happen for you. And literally, it has changed my life. When you said what has changed, everything. My
Mm.
mindset has changed, my income has changed, my
Come on.
environment has changed. But the one biggest shift was realizing that I'm not just earning income, I'm building something that's mine.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
built a whole bunch of other stuff in other
Good. Good.
companies and something, uh, you know, something that's willable.
Hmm.
Okay, we can will this to our family. It's transferable.
Yes.
It's
The
something
business.
that we can outlive and it will still go on.
Yeah.
And that kind of ownership changes how you move in
Mm.
life.
Indeed.
And
It changes your confidence, it changes your decisions, it changes your expectations for life.
Indeed.
I'm telling you. So
Well,
let's stop thinking small and start building legacy. Because
that's it.
we got this, right, y'all? We
Oh,
got
we got this. We
that.
got this. We got it.
Yes,
Anana,
All right,
ma'am.
Mary.
Yes, let's
Closing,
go.
closing, Mary. You want to give him a word?
yeah,
Oh,
that willable thing she just talked about. I had someone on my team pass away, and I kept getting something in the email about her, and I said, well, maybe they didn't get the word. I thought that we had told them that she had passed away, and I called, and that Friday they were still working on putting her daughter in place to get her overrides and her money from what the mother had did. And so
Mhm.
that just made me know that this is a willable thing. When you said willable, that
Mhm.
made me think about it. So I just wanted to
Yes.
share that
That's
because I was
good.
just calling to make sure they knew she had passed. But they
Mhm.
were saying we were doing the paperwork so that
Come on.
Brianna can get what her
Come
mother
on.
get. So I was like, I
Confirmation.
thought
That's
that was
it. That's
Confirmation.
it.
That's
That's
a
that legacy.
blessing.
Knowing who grandma,
thank
great grandma, great grandma was. That's it right there. All right, Mary, I
Look,
want to have you let you give us some closing words and I'll go to Ingrid and we will close out. Thank you.
Oh, yes. Just one thing I did want to mention was when we're talking about lifestyle and not having to work a 9 to 5, like, trust and believe me, like, I cannot wait to where I have that full, uh, almost like autopilot. Like, I can work from anywhere, I can
mhm.
produce from anywhere. And I love my real estate and I'm going to keep doing my real estate as well. But guess what? You can't sell a house remotely.
Come on.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
You can't sell a house from home.
Mhm.
So my goal is to continue doing what I do over there. But also with this, I want to be wherever. I put up a post up. Was it yesterday? I want to go to Miami. I do want to go. And I know I with this business, I can go work wherever. If I'm like, look, I don't want to be here. I want to be in the beach for a week. Bring
Thank
your
Yes,
you.
honey. Come
laptop,
on.
And white
call those
mountains.
leads, do that
Yeah.
work
Yeah.
from wherever you want. And I
That's
Yeah.
love me
right.
some real estate, but you can't just bring your laptop and sell a house somewhere. You can't do that. You got to be very hands on. You
Mhm.
have to be very involved with your clients for sometimes months,
Gotcha.
sometimes months. But
Gotcha.
I'm not that agent. You ain't gonna take all my year. After about 60, 90 days. But anyway,
Oh, I
Yes.
love it.
yes, that freedom is huge,
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah,
I
you
can't
can
wait.
work from the bed or the beach, honey. Yes.
I love it. I love it. All right, Ingrid, in closing, anything you want to share?
that time freedom, that bed to the beach and all that, that's wonderful.
Mhm.
My goal is to touch more people. I didn't want to even build a team like I used to, but I want that for some women. There's some women out there that need to be doing this
Mhm.
and building up other people, younger girls, coming out of high school, college. This is something that can start early. If I would start early, guess where would we be if we had started this at 25? Just think about that. Where will we be? So it's
Yeah.
a career that we can be 70, 80 years old. I have, my upline 85 years old about to be. You can still call, you can still help, you can still do what you need to do, right at home. There's no age limit, really. And that's something to
Mhm.
consider with our career. So we're helping and we're making lives better and everything. So we won't run out of clients. We will.
That's
We will.
right.
I love it. I love it. All right. So listen, we thank everyone for joining us tonight. I mean, again, there's so many takeaways, right? But again, this conversation in closing for Women's History Month to be able to bring these incredible women that I have just a honor and just an excitement, but true appreciation and adoration for who they are. And I get to do business with them. Like this is it. Like
Thank
this is
you.
what we do.
I thank you for us for doing business with you. I mean, thank you for
Yes.
even bringing us together, putting us
Yeah.
together that we can continue to, build off of this and just let it fly. You
Yeah,
know,
that's it.
Yeah,
It's
I
the
been
really
best is yet to come. The best is yet to come.
that it is. So I want
thank
to
you.
thank you again, everyone, for joining us tonight. Make sure you get connected. You want to learn more. Again, if you uninsured, you unsure what you have, then it's really time. Again, and like what tonight was, it was about a conversation. And that's what it starts with. It's just a conversation. Like, let's just talk, right? And I think any
Mhm.
of us, you can conversate with all of us, right? You see, who we are. We're not trying to sell you anything, right? But more importantly, just to prepare you, right, for the unknown and what the future may look like. But how do we protect you? So we thank everyone again for being here, being a part of this conversation. We want you to just stay tuned, stay connected. And again, just a way of just uplifting. And we already know our anointed Miss Lady Melinda. Who was able to share and really be as an agency owner really a top producer, if you will, in this arena. So we're grateful, grateful, grateful for everyone tonight. And again, type in if there's anything that really stuck home with you. There's so many things that I remember about this tonight, but I want to make sure that you put that in the comments, right? Let us know, hey, I want to connect with you. Inbox whichever one of us that you are connected with, because we all building. This is no competition. This was just a conversation to collaborate and build together. And it's been a powerful conversation. So I hope that you're walking away with us tonight and you're really thinking about protection. It's not just about a policy, it's just about a decision. And I remember Lady Melinda spoke about that. It's a form of love. We talked about leaving that love letter for your family. It's a way to create stability for people who depend on you.
Absolutely.
And as you heard tonight, this industry is also an opportunity.
Yeah.
And we are not selfish in that. We are not just going to sell policies and not present the opportunity. You can tell we certainly care about you. And it's an opportunity to grow, to serve, to build something of your own, all which all of them talked about. I didn't give them the script, right? To build something of your own. So whether you're watching and this, you're really just thinking and realizing you need to get coverage in place, let's do that. You need to better understand what you already have. We can help you with that. Or you're feeling a pull towards doing something more, something different. There is space for you here. This is not about pressure. It's about positioning, getting in position, positioning yourself to be protected, positioning yourself to build, and positioning yourself to leave what? A legacy. We talked about
Yes.
it, right?
Come
So if
on.
any part of this conversation spoke with you, I invite you to take the next step and make sure that you connect with us and let's move forward in this. So thank you all again for being here tonight. And thank you to these amazing women. I'm doing my air claps for sharing their voice and also their journey. I want you all to have a great week as we're moving in this Holy Week. It's the time, the season, spring is here.
Yes.
And so again, I just want to thank you all and hope you have a great, great night. Take care, okay?
Yes. God bless you.
Bless you.
Good night.